Hello and welcome back to Foos Entertainment. First, the reveal. As I mentioned in the last review I did, we're going to be doing the Star Trek movies next. I have the original Star Trek motion picture box set right here. This is for the original series films. Very cool looking box set. So let's get the unveiling of this one out of the way. Basically, it's a pretty simple unveiling. This is the front. If you remove this, you can obviously see that some of the artwork stays on the plastic cover of the box set. This does the back artwork. The side, all of them are in individual slim cases. Each one containing a character from the original crew of the NCC 1701, the USS Enterprise, and of course the NCC 1701A. Which got introduced at the very end of Star Trek 4. Well, reviewing Star Trek 3, Star Trek Spock, and Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home tomorrow. So let's go on the first one. Star Trek the Motion Picture from 1979. This is the one Star Trek movie that a lot of people actually did not like. I understand why they don't. I don't like it because they feel it is not as exciting as the movies that came after it. Well, you would be right. It is not as exciting as the films that came after it. But what it is a brilliant piece of filmmaking art. That's the best way I can describe Star Trek the Motion Picture. I would say that out of the films I've watched so far, which would be Star Trek Motion Picture and Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, because I have a lot of time off, after Christmas Eve, I do have a lot of time off, so I have a lot of time to watch all these films before January 1st, so you will definitely be seeing all of them. This is the best looking one so far. I say that they did a lot better job, in my opinion, on making the remastering. There's no CGI visual effects in the movies. They are as they were. But I certainly love the way this film looks. It has very high quality detail in the picture. And the HD transfer is amazing. There is one little thing I can say about, though, despite how beautiful this movie looks, there are certain little tiny twigs, tiny little tidbits, every now and then in the print of the movie that shows debris on the screen. But despite that, this film looks amazing. You know, also, whether you're watching the original millimeter film, or watching the videotape, or watching the collection edition DVD, or watching this Blu-ray, this film has always been one of the most visual movies of all time, in my opinion. The visual effects in this movie, to this day in 2018, have never been replicated. Visual effects are just too enormous in this movie. This film was way ahead of its time. So people can say what they want about this movie. This movie is way ahead of its time. It's also the only Star Trek movie that I can truly say felt like a Star Trek TV episode. Past this movie, they all really feel like a different universe from the original TV series. Except for Star Trek: The Final Frontier, which is another film that people hate that I love, which also felt a lot like a original television series episode of Star Trek. Now let's go into the premise of the movie, the synopsis. The plots of the Star Trek movies are a lot easier to discuss, so this will be brief and quick. So allow me to spend a lot more time talking about the video and audio quality in its completion following the plot summary of the movie. The plot of this one is probably the most simplest of the Star Trek movies. A cosmic entity of enormous, unbelievable power that has the ability to disintegrate ships and space stations and all that stuff that is unstoppable is on its way to Earth. After the 5-year mission that the NC-1701 USS Enterprise went on in the original series, it had been completely remodeled and redesigned since the 5-year mission. Captain Kirk has been promoted to Admiral. Spock has tried to purge himself of all emotion and become pretty much a Vulcan in its completion through a practice known as Kalimar, which he cannot do because he has a psychological link to this unstoppable force that's on its way to Earth. The USS Enterprise is the only ship that is near this enormous entity in space. And so it gets sent out to investigate and find a way to stop this unstoppable force from, basically destroying the Earth and destroying humanity. So the stakes are actually the highest in this movie than they are in any Star Trek movie. Not a bad way to start off the film series of Star Trek. Let's make it the biggest humanity and Earth would be wiped out if we did not, get successful in our mission. That's a bold move for a first movie. But of course, they had the first Star Wars film to compete with, so that's why they had to do that. They go ahead and go after it to investigate it. Go on the adventure to find out what it is, and we find out it's actually a living machine. Basically, it's a living machine robotic entity of some kind that pretty much was for evolution from a machines planet, a planet of pretty much machines. The entity is called V'ger. It is in V/G-E-R. When the Enterprise comes to the heart of this, and this is after one of their own is pretty much killed, and then a robotic, clone or whatever it is, takes the place and form of the crew member that was taken, and is turned into pretty much a humanoid-like machine. They go to the heart of this entity, and they find out that the entity is actually the old Voyager 6 satellite deep probe that was launched during the early days of space exploration in the 1960s. And that and this actually is true in real life. There actually was a Voyager satellite experiment that NASA did in real life. It might have been the 40s, we're told. It might have been the 40s, but it was, I believe, closer to the 60s. And yes, Voyager 6 was deemed missing, never to be found again, for what we called back then, and probably still do today, At least all regular people probably think this. Black hole. Although if you were to take time to research quantum physics, it is not a black hole. It's something else. If you guys want to figure out how that stuff works, research quantum physics or theorize astrology, or just to do it the geek way, watch about 400 hours of Stargate in Farscape, and you'll figure out exactly what this Voyager probe was in real life actually sucked in and spit out the far ends of the universe. Well, in this movie, it comes back, and that's after being captured and emerging somewhere out there in uncharted space to this machine planet that took it on as one of its own and made it have this big evolution to where it became a big, like, living computer. And it's on its way back to Earth to transmit its data and meet its creator, not knowing that. But the thing is, the machine is so evolved that it actually does not realize that its creator is us, and so literally thinks that humans are disposable, and they calls us carbon-based units. We are not true life forms. So, in the end, another crew member pretty much has an obsession with the other crew member that was abducted by this entity, and pretty much joins in sort of a union and creates an entirely new life form, and that's what prevents Earth from being destroyed. Now, audio video quality. I talked about the video quality. Well, let me tell you why it's so good. This thing has a very, very good, unique balance between cool, warm, and neutral that you can't even notice it. It's that good. You can't diagnose it as a cool temp movie. You can't diagnose it as a warm temp movie. And you can't diagnose it as a neutral temp movie. It's like all of them, and continuously. And the picture quality is so clear. It's like this film was made 5 freaking minutes ago. That's how good the picture quality is. Audio. This right here. I will have to say this, and I know this is going to be shocking. This 7.1 Dolby True HD soundtrack in this movie beats every single one of the Star Wars movies. It literally beats every single one of the Star Wars films I have reviewed before this movie. That's crazy that I'm saying that. Especially since there's not a whole lot going on in this movie. As everybody mentions that don't like this movie, is not as exciting as, say, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan is, which I'll get to after this one. This soundtrack is amazing. There's so much use of all the speakers in it that is unbelievably amazing. I can't say anything about it. It's downright near a perfect video quality and a perfect audio quality movie. This is like the ultimate home theater experience that I've come across this month. Now, there are plenty of films that are like that, and I have definitely mentioned a few of them. This is the one that I've come to so far this month. And there's been a lot of good quality in all the movies I've watched. I'm not saying there isn't, but this one is the best one I've come across so far this month. That's how good it is on the audio and video quality. And well, that's pretty much my views on Star Trek, the motion picture from 1979. Did you like the movie? Did you not like the movie? As always, leave comments if you like. Subscribe to this channel if you like to see more. Check in me from time to time to see if I've done any new reviews, or if I ever do, get back and sing more music, which I'm thinking about doing. But yeah, and I will see you guys next time for my review of 1982's Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Until then.